Hi,
Yeah.
it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, women on TV.tv, IT247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And today is a special guest. I've been talking to him on the phone here and there throughout the years now. I think like the last year and a half, if not almost 2 years. It's the one and only Jimmy Adams. Jimmy, welcome to Movie Reviews and More. Tell us where you came from, what the involvement is with the Restroom Kit, which is one of my favorite brands that I love to showcase no matter where I go around the country. And then you guys have a new package that just came out not too long ago. But first, tell us about your military background, because that's most important. And I always say this, thank you from the bottom of my heart, especially from the drum and bugle corps world, of your service, because that's important.
Well, thank you, Brian, and hello to your audience. I am Jimmy Adams, and I'm a married father of 5 and a grandfather of 8. I did serve in the United States Army, the best military in the world, and I did 20 years there.
Wow.
After which I did 5 years on Capitol Hill, and I actually worked as a staffer for the congressman, the at-large congressman from Alaska, which is Don Young, and got introduced to the Restroom Kit via my wife. My wife and Bill and Sonia are colleagues, and she brought a prototype home one day, showed it to me, and it was love at first sight for me. Absolutely, the Restroom Kit. And we got involved. We've been involved for about 5 years now. And it's been a labor of love, let me say that. Trying to start a company up from the grassroots, it's a challenge, but worth it all. And I wouldn't change a thing. And like you said, we have a brand new product, which we call the Restroom Kit Plus, which is pretty in pink for the ladies. And I'd like to say our hook line is, my hook line is, just think of the restroom. The Restroom Kit was designed for your peace of mind when nature says it's time. So if all of you could log on to www.therestroomkit.com, you can purchase there. We're on Amazon as well, and we're on all the social media platforms.
That's pretty good. I like that tagline. I hadn't heard that one. You got to say that. I like that.
Well, again, it's mine, and I came up with it, and it simply says the Restroom Kit was designed for your peace of mind when nature says it's time.
I like that. I might have to start using that one, you guys.
Have at it. Please do. Please do.
Talk about how it's come together. I think it's a slow, steady, strong growth. Would that be correct?
No question about it. No question about it. I had to, again, well, my background is law enforcement. My degree is in social and criminal justice. And I left that out. I happened to work at the Pentagon in my degree field for about 10 years, and then I retired from that as well. It is a slow process because this is a new venture for me, getting into entrepreneurship, which I always aspired to do, but just never knew how I was going to get into it. And like I said, one day my wife came in, introduced me to this product because as a young child, my mom, God rest her soul, she taught us if we ever had to use the restroom away from our residence, you make sure you line the toilet seat with a lot of toilet tissue and that type of thing. But with the blessing from Bill, he actually birthed this thing, and it's really strange. Most people would think, they look at this product and they say the Restroom Kit, probably a lady, a female, a woman probably invented this product. You would be wrong. His name is Bill Massey, and he's the inventor, our president, and our CEO of Time Away LLC, makers of the Restroom Kit.
You know, the fun thing about this Restroom Kit is that I've been to 10 states with this, if not 11. And I love it because I like showing it to people who've never seen it before. They've never,
Yeah.
And I always make sure I have a bunch of packages with me. I give it to them. I'm like, you know what? Make sure you go on this because it doesn't matter if you're going camping, You've got kids, you got babies, seniors in the car, for on the phone. I use it for, going to drum and bugle corps shows. It comes in handy. Airplanes, and now I say to everybody that I talk to, you guys are first responders now. That's even more important. Talk about that aspect of things.
Well, I mean, I believe that our product should be part of everyone's PPE with the current environment we're in. And that's your personal protective equipment. If you would include the restroom kit, you could, in your PPE, using public restrooms at this point with our current environment, it could be very, very scary. I mean, like you said, mothers with small children, changing tables in public facilities are horrendous for contamination. Our product helps cut down on you contracting any bacteria, viruses, or just bad germs. I mean, and it contains, we've patented an oversized toilet seat cover, right? We have a patent on it. This thing is huge. Like you said, it's an excellent teaching tool for children when they're away from home, or seniors that want to maintain their independence. Give them this kit. Those that may be physically challenged and in public places, they may want to be independent. Perfect product for them.
This time last year, I with a friend of mine who he was the second brilliant marketer that I ever met. He encouraged me because he loved the restroom kit. Very conservative guy. He goes, this restroom kit goes with the hand sanitizer. Brian, what's wrong with you? You should put these two together. And I said, that's a great thing. Why didn't I think about it? Because his mind, he just thought different ways, like I think a different way. I said, that's right. So I'm still working on that because they do go together, because I found you guys at the same time at Celebrity Connected Gifting Suite with Gene.
Right.
And the thing about that, all of our co-hosts use it. They all love it. And they don't like to leave home without it because they've gotten used to it. And then the last time I had Bill and Sonia on, I introduced them to Linda Steele. Linda Steele's in Vegas right now, and she has it with her. And I'm hoping to see her after the show so I can give her more of that, because she's looking forward to, the pink one because it's got the panty liner in it.
Absolutely.
Women really like that,
And just a side note, we do have the restroom kit hand sanitizer on our website. All you have to do is click the Shop Now button, and the Restroom Kit Plus will pop up, as well as a hand sanitizer. So we do listen to our clientele as well. I mean, we had a lot of feedback from a lot of women that says, hey, this thing would be enhanced by putting the panty liner in there. Of course, it took some time, but we had to get the proper design and all of that sort of stuff. But we do listen to our clientele. We do read our reviews, and we will respond. So yeah, it's a must-have for everybody, especially, again, in our current environment.
Talk about when you do venture out, because it's, you have stuff coming up. But in general, when you did, it's strange to have a black guy have one of the restroom kits traveling around, first of all. That's not normal. Then
right.
If he has it, that means I've got to have it. That's to look at their faces. And I said, you need to have this because you never know when you're going to need it. And I think that's really, really good. Now, when it comes to now being first responders, when that leads, firemen, you guys have been helping out, natural disasters. Natalie Byrne, a friend of mine who I'm going to get on the show pretty soon. She took those to Puerto Rico with her. Talk about how they fit into natural disasters, because that's very important. Here we are in a pandemic. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
And no question about it. And we go around, I happen to live in Arlington, Virginia, which is about 3 miles from DC. And as you speak about first responders, my oldest son just happens to be a battalion chief in Charleston, South Carolina, at St. Andrews Fire Department. There's a fire department. I'm looking right at it. It's almost sitting in my backyard. And for those folk, we do make sure that they have the protection they need as well, because Bill Massey initiated going around in his local area, which is in Clinton, Maryland, and just gave those first responders, because we do need those people. And I appreciate those individuals before I need them. And that's what I tell my son about, his particular career. It's like most people don't even speak to, a fireman or a fire person until they actually meet them. So no question about it. They appreciate it. And there's law enforcement that comes over to this firehouse behind my house. They're aware of it. The people in Arlington, Virginia, or the first responders in Arlington, Virginia, are aware of our product. And my plan is, before I have this procedure on next Wednesday, the 29th, is to make sure that the first responders that will operate on me, if you will, are aware of our product, and make sure they try to include that in their PPE.
It's funny, like I said, this time last year, I was in the intensive care unit with my friend, and he was on 7 different medications. And I'm like, 3 of them, you're lucky if 3 of them ever work at the same time. And then so the time I left, I think it was August 11th, because I was going to go to Indianapolis, Indiana for the drum corps show. I never made it there because I stayed with him for exactly 2 weeks. And then 5 days later, he was better. I always say, leave everybody better than when you find them. It applies to the Restroom Kit. And it was one of those things where I had given it to the nurses, I had given it to the doctors. I was proud to have it in there because it was a perfect setting for that. And I had the elliptical hand sanitizer in there because I didn't like the Purex because it's got all chemicals in it. That's what I didn't like about it. And they were really appreciative because I was there and I had never, ever been in the hospital before, except for visiting one person for like an hour one time, or else since when I was born. I've never had anything happen to me. I've been very fortunate. So being in there,
I'd say,
me saying, oh, I can understand how people get sick in here now. I can understand why you would need it in there. So till this day, not only the hotels, the hospitals, and it's hard down cruise ships. I was working on them this time, right until this time last year, and then I lost contact and I had to start all over. And I said, forget it. You guys are going to need us eventually, not the other way around, which is where we are now. And that was tough,
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think people must be aware, even when the country starts to open back up, people need to be aware that industrial toilets or commercial restrooms usually are not accommodated with a toilet seat lid. And that's what happens with flushing a toilet. Most people are accustomed to whatever waste going down, but before that happens, there's a flush plume or a flush cloud that comes up. It's microscopic, so you can't see it, and that particular matter can travel up to 20 feet. So be careful. I mean, with the Restroom Kit, you don't have to touch anything unless you want to in a public facility, right? It has everything you need. Like I said, we have a patented oversized toilet seat cover. It comes with 3 feet of 3-ply biodegradable toilet tissue. And if there's no water, hand sanitizer available, have no worries. There's 2 individually wrapped sanitary wipes. One we've labeled for your hands and the other one for your tush. And that's what we do with the Restroom Kit. We protect your bottom. And those are the contents. And of course, the Restroom Kit Plus, like you said, all of those contents plus a panty liner, if you will. So you don't have to touch anything. Hello, Jessica.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing well. I know it says Nancy on the screen. That just happens to be my wife, and I'm using her laptop. But I'm Jimmy.
I almost I did almost say hi, Nancy, just to be funny, but I figured it was your wife. Where is she today?
She just took off and she went to a sibling birthday party not far away from here. So
it's definitely birthday season. My father's is coming up, and my aunt and uncle had a couple this last week, and yeah, well, happy birthday to the family.
Happy birthday to yours as well.
Thank you.
So Jessica, the interesting thing is you met the white Jimmy Adams, and now you're meeting the black Jimmy Adams.
And
Well,
we're
I
friends.
saw
We're,
that. I saw
we're
that in
friends
the
now.
email. Say again.
We're Jimmy Adams and Jimmy Adams happen to be Facebook friends, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
really?
true.
You know
Yes.
Jimmy Adams. Well, I did see that in the email, and I thought Jimmy Adams. I don't wait what? And so now it makes sense.
And it's
It's a
funny.
pleasure.
So, Jimmy, the last time I saw Jessica, I had her take a picture with the restroom kit, and so that was the last one that I had.
Okay.
Do you remember when
Yeah.
I gave you these? Did you use them in your car? Did you use them on a cruise ship, or when did you use them?
The one that you gave me.
Yeah.
Well, I am always on the road. Well, not as much now, but when I live in one location, but I'm always driving to Nashville, so I never have a restroom. I never just have an easy restroom to go to. So you're either running into Walmart or Target or Starbucks, and so I would utilize them there on my daily trips back and forth to the city.
The good
Of Nashville.
news now, and Jimmy will tell you, there's another one. It's a pink one specifically for women. Look at it. You see their faces, Jimmy?
Oh, look, and I dressed appropriately, so
And we love your response.
Hey, Jimmy, show her what you showed me, because I'm not going to open this one yet.
Oh, wow. Well,
Later.
we have enhanced our regular restroom kit, and it's called the Restroom Kit Plus. And it contains all the contents of the blue restroom kit, right? It has a patented oversized toilet seat cover, 3 feet of 3-ply biodegradable toilet tissue, a tush and a hand wipe. But with the pink one, because we know ladies look beautiful in pink, they're very pretty, and we added a panty liner just for the ladies. Okay?
Smart. That
Yeah.
is very much appreciated.
I do agree with you because we do listen to our clientele, and they've been asking for this particular kit for a while now, and we managed to get through the prototype and all of the other things you have to go through when you're trying to market a product. And here it is. It happens to be on our website, therestroomkit.com. You can go there, click on the Shop Now button, and go right to it.
Nice. Well, I'll be doing it. That sounds good to me.
Thank you.
And thank you for the ladies. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Jessica, will you tell Jimmy a little bit, as that performer, because his military, his background is from the military, obviously, so he's did 20 years, and he and I had been talking on and off the phone occasionally, sometimes when they would have the meetings, and I talked to him a couple of days ago. I said, hey, we might as well do a show before you have to have your surgery. So, it's an honor and a pleasure because they've been very supportive of me, and like to say at the same time with them, because I don't go anywhere without them, and I love giving them everybody, I've got a friend in the house now, she's got a baby. I make sure that she's got them all the time with them, and it's not even my kid. I'm like, and she loves them. I've been telling her about it for a year and a half, So Jessica, tell Jimmy your background a little bit.
My background. Well, ultimately, I'm that nomad that loves to perform. So if there's any chance or opportunity, especially when it came to auditions back in the day before all of where we're at right now, I would pretty much go wherever the wind took me. So I performed at theme parks. I performed on cruise ships. I did some seasonal things in different locations. I did a Christmas show in Louisville, Kentucky, and I did Sesame Street tour. So pretty much, I'm just that entertainer. Also, I was going to tack on too. We appreciate extra paper. I always go everywhere that I go. I either have Kleenexes or paper towels, and so right now, I've got this. Here we have 1, 2. So any extra paper that you can provide us ladies in those packets, we're very much, we like that.
Look, again, we have in the Restroom Kit Plus, as well as the regular restroom kit, we do have 3 feet of 3-ply toilet tissue. So in essence, you have 9 feet of actual tissue. And it's not sandpaper because my wife made sure that it was tissue. So in essence, you can pull this apart 3 times, right? And you have.
Is that enough, Jess?
I think so. Yeah, I think it'll work for me because you have to think about it too. It's not just, there's all the places that we need those things.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, we have 2 sanitary wipes in there, and you can use these wipes interchangeably, but we don't recommend that you flush the hand wipe, just like you don't take paper towels and put them in the toilet.
Sure,
we don't recommend,
of course.
but everything, the tissue, the tush wipe is flushable, so you can use them interchangeably. And so we made sure that you have everything you need in order to make your public restroom experience a good one.
Nice.
And then
How long? I'm sure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
The fun thing about that is Jessica's always performed on cruise ships, and I was telling Jimmy that I was working with Norwegian right up until this time last year, and then the guy that I was working with, he went on to another job, and then I just couldn't. I had to start all over again. I'm like, this is frustrating with these guys. And again, now look where the cruise ships are now, huh, Jess?
Oh yeah, it's very much a work in progress. It's gonna be a while. And rightfully so. I mean, it's about everyone's safety and the health of the entire world at this point. So, it's as awful as it is, it needs to be done, and it needs to be taken care of correctly before you start bringing humans into the situation again. Get your facilities and your equipment and all those things together, and we'll get back at it one of these days. But, safety first.
Absolutely. And by Brian saying that, it made me think. My wife and I have been on cruises before, and depending on where we are, what country we're in, once you leave the vessel and you go out on these excursions that they offer, you subject yourself to whatever they have in public facilities.
Or not. Or what they don't have.
And that's why I think it's paramount that, we introduce ourselves to the cruise ship industry and make sure that they are aware of our product at the very least, and hopefully they'll have the same reaction you had when they see the pink kits. I think they'll gravitate to it, hopefully, and we can go from there, and we can protect the world's bottom.
Absolutely. And that's no kidding. It's the truth. It's the truth. Oh, yeah. And that's something it's true that you mentioned that. Every time that I would go out and adventure in port, absolutely, your hand wipes, your hand sanitizer, a bottle of water, and tissue paper and paper towels. Yes, yeah, that's a necessity.
No question about it. And we could probably call it something like your excursion survival kit or something like that.
Yes. And it would be a really great thing that the excursion desk could actually provide, as a tack on. Absolutely. That's perfect for the excursion desk. And when they're selling their, because they do, oh man, you've been, there's so many different excursions on any given day that you're in port. So that's a lot of people to take care of, for sure.
No question about it. I like the way you think, Jessica.
Yeah.
And then Jessica, the good thing is what I like, it's been a year. So when they just came out, you came out with the pink one, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or what?
It's been about 2 weeks now, yeah.
And so what I like about it is, you guys are first responders now. That's what I like about that, because I didn't think about that when it took a pandemic for you have that title. So now you have that official title.
Well, thank you. Thank you for labeling us with that, because we feel like we are. I mean, our product, again, I'll say it again. Our product was designed for your peace of mind when nature says it's time.
I like the rhymes. I'm all about rhyming. I love that.
I like that.
You please share it. Please share it. We appreciate that.
So when it comes to the movie reviews and more part of things, when you were growing up, you were talking about music. Jessica is a performer. I'm going to help her do a couple things. But in general, what music were you listening to when you were growing up?
For the most part, little rhythm and blues. I just happened to be the son of a Black Baptist preacher, but so it was more gospel music than R&B growing up. But I was telling Brian earlier, I had an AM transistor radio, little bit larger than this Restroom Kit, and it had an antenna on it. And late at night, when we had clear skies and you could see the stars, I used to put my little transistor AM radio in the window and lean it up against the screen. And like I said, on a clear night, I could catch Wolfman Jack on WLAC from Nashville.
Really?
No
I even
question
remember
about it.
Wolfman Jack. I remember him.
That's what, as a young boy growing up in South Carolina, that's what I used to do. But the skies had to be clear in order for me to be able to connect with it.
That's my life now, by the way. If it's overcast, I can't get phone service or internet service now. So I totally understand the propping up your technology up into the window. I do that. Like, I'm not kidding. I put my phone in our storm door, in our glass storm door, and it has to sit because you can slide the top window up or down. So there's kind of a lip.
Yeah.
That's where my phone goes. This is happening right now, 2020. So I empathize, and I also love that because we had the same. It wasn't a little AM, but it was a dial with an antenna radio that we used to have in our bathroom, our downstairs bathrooms, and that's where I always got ready for school and church and everything. So we always had that radio going, getting ready for wherever you're going. You had the music, but of course, the antenna had to be at a certain angle or it wouldn't pick up. So
that's awesome.
I get it.
No, the funny thing about that is when I when I met Wolfman Jack, I always looked up to him because he was in radio. I didn't know he was in Tennessee. That's interesting. He came in the Tower video, and we had every celebrity came in the Tower video. This was the mecca of everybody renting VHS, Beta, and Laser.
Yeah.
And he came in 5 minutes after midnight. We were there from 10 in the morning till midnight, and then I was on Radio Power 106. So we were the #1 station at that point. So he comes in, and I'm like, your tape is late. And I didn't know it was him. He goes, "Don't you know who I am?" I'm like, "I don't care who you are. I'm Wolfman Jack." And I go, "Well, I'm Brian Sebastian." That's just my normal, because, you want to go. You've been doing stuff and I'm like, so he goes, "It was only 3:25. And I'm like thinking, "Well, you're late. And we're closed." I got in an argument with Wolfman Jack, and he was upset because I was ready to go. I had a long day,
I understand. Wow. That's a pretty amazing story there, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Wolfman Jack. I'm like, "Well, I'm Brian Sebastian, and I don't care." That was out of my mouth.
Wow.
The things you say when you're tired.
That's truth. Jimmy, so you said that your father was a pastor?
Yeah. And he passed away in 1992. He was a Baptist preacher, yes, and a pastor, yes.
Okay. Well, because you're talking about gospel music, that's very much my background as well. And I was going to say, one of my girlfriends that I worked with on a ship a couple years ago, she was the percussionist, and the other instrumentalist in our particular show is saxophone. And they were working on a song together in 2018, a gospel song, which is now just coming out. They're going to release it next week. And she has a little teaser right now. And her band, it's an all-ladies band out of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
And the song is called His Name, but there's a teaser, and I did the voiceover for it at the beginning and over it till the end. So I thought, oh, that's really cool. It's all about, it's music. There's a connection everywhere. Somehow it's
no question about it.
Together.
And I'll share this tidbit of information. Brian, you may be old enough to remember the show called Hee Haw, right?
Yes.
I remember that show.
Anyway, I have a cousin of mine that just happened to be the first Black female recording artist to appear on Hee Haw.
On Hee Haw?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah. Buck Owens and Roy Clark. Yeah.
That is really cool. What's her
and
name?
her stage name is Linda Martell. So if you can pull it up on YouTube. First Black female recording artist to appear on Hee Haw. She just happens to be a part of my family.
Wow, that is
What
cool.
year was that, Jimmy?
I want to say, Brian, maybe 77. It was in the, I think, late 70s. She appeared for the first time. I mean, at the time, we didn't own a colored television. We had a black and white television. And man, when we found out that she was going to make her appearance on Hee Haw, we all gathered around the TV and we was just engrossed in, and our family member actually performing on Hee Haw. And she did several, I think, records with Charlie Pride. And just look her up, Linda Martell. It's on YouTube.
Martel? Martell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that's impressive because I would love to know the backstory behind that, what it took to have that happen. That would be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You ever tell stories? Do you know? Remember how it happened?
No, I don't remember anything like that. And I may have been a little over 10 years old, maybe 11 or something like that. So, but yeah, she was in the industry for a while, and she's since retired. So, you know, and she's still around. She's still around. Wow. So, yeah.
That's impressive.
Does she live in the southeastern area?
Yeah. Actually, I want to say she's in South Carolina. Where, I'm not sure, but I want to say she currently resides in South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jessica, what have you been working on since we last talked?
Well, besides the voiceover that I just mentioned, I did. Are you both familiar with those attorney commercials where they say something like, "Oh, I was in a wreck and I received so much money, you know, from such and such." Well, I've been doing a few of those commercials, so I did that a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations.
That was my first, thanks. That was my first outing and my first kind of out in the world gig since all of this has started. So it was a little weird. I kind of felt like I was in the Twilight Zone and I wasn't sure if I was interacting like a normal human being because I hadn't been out in public in so long. I was like, is this real life? Are you real? But the people were really great. They were very careful and safe about everything. They wouldn't even allow each client to come in or each talent to come in until the next talent had either left or arrived. So you had to wait in your car and tell them when you were there, and then they only let one person in, and everything was clean. Everyone was wearing masks. So it was a really great experience, and I was very pleased and appreciative of their efforts in trying to keep everything safe and, you know, everyone involved in a good place.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then back at the house, we're working on a bedroom, painting and changing some things around. So, you know, just mixing it up like usual. And then if it's not too blasted hot, well, that's not true. I go anyway. I try to exercise every day, and because I'm out in the wilderness, it's easy to do that without being around a lot of people, but it's just so hot. So I would have stayed at the house today and done this outside, but no way. I would have been a puddle by the end of the thing. So, and actually there's no air. There's not a consistent air flow in here. So I'm a little toasty right now, but much better than being outside.
Hey, I was telling Jimmy, you know, we never know where she might be because it's challenging. Hey, I'm glad that you made it. And, you know,
It's a surprise.
and the funny thing about that is, you know, congratulations on that because next you're going to be singing to the cows. It's almost that time.
That's right. That's true. Although I've got to work on that because they're not my cows, and they're a little hard to see from the road, the ones that I'm thinking of. So I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to do anything in the road because then I might get run over. We'll figure it out.
Wow.
Jimmy, I'm telling all my musician friends, because they're all complaining. I'm like, find someone who's got an empty lot, go in the street, do it every other day at a different time, do it only for an hour. People will enjoy hearing music. There's something that can be done. And then, hey, if you like what we're doing, we're rehearsing, we're not performing. Yeah, that's got to be a little difference there because there's no such thing as getting a permit. And then you don't need a permit for an hour. So just go and do it. Something is better than nothing. And people need to hear some music. There's no movies to go to watch. So that's these movies. I mean, music.
Yeah, we have quite a few friends that have recently gotten into the Netflix thing, but I'm in total agreement with you, Brian. I mean, I'm used to an environment like you're describing, Jessica. Growing up in South Carolina, being in the rural area, yeah, I can.
Yep.
I can really relax in that type of environment. I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you're getting into jazz now, you said, right?
Well, my wife is a jazz fanatic. As a matter of fact, she has on her license plate on her car, excuse me, for one second, she had to put jazz on her license plate some way. And it was, the jazz name itself was taken up by someone else. So she put an X in front of jazz and an X on the back side of jazz. So it's X Jazz X, and she loves the music. So that's where we are right now. I'm more accustomed to listening to jazz because, like I said, she listens to watercolors and some other functional music, she calls it. It almost has, I think it has sort of an Asian content to it because there's no words and it's not really jazz, but it has an Asian flavor to me, and it really helps me relax. I mean, after retiring from the Army, after 20 years, I used to be really hyper. And what she does, and she puts the incense in the container and it saturates the air, so it helps me calm down because I haven't divorced myself from the military mentality totally yet, but it really helps.
What are the artists or groups that you can suggest? Because I haven't heard of or maybe I've heard it and didn't realize that was kind of what it was, but the jazz Asian kind of.
Well, I think it's on channel 68 on XM.
Okay.
On XM radio, try channel 68. I know Watercolors is channel 66. I know that for sure because that's one of her favorites. And but try channel 68 or somewhere in that high 60 range. You'll be able to find it. So yeah,
okay.
It's helped me tremendously.
Jessica, do you sing? You sing jazz, right?
Yeah, I mean jazz standards. Mm-hmm. On channel.
But we listen.
Making my notes. Hang on, let me get it on. Okay, got it.
We listen to a variety of music. Like I said, growing up, I could hear more country music than anything because the AM stations would basically go off at 6 p.m. Like the rhythm and blues AM stations, they shut down by 6 o'clock when I was growing up. So, you know, country music wasn't my thing. I mean, Randy Travis is one of my favorites. The Oak Ridge Boys used to really be one of my favorites. Obviously, Charlie Pride and oh God, I can't think of the rest of them. Well, maybe I'll think of them as we continue to talk. But yeah, different genres of music. I obviously love gospel music, and it doesn't matter really who sings it as long as it's gospel.
Are you familiar with the Gaithers or the Gaither Vocal Band or Gaither Trio?
No, I'm not.
Bill and Glory Gaither?
No.
Okay. That might be more Southern gospel than gospel.
I mean, you know, the Shirley Caesars of the world, the Reverend C.L. Franklin, Aretha Franklin's father, that kind of thing. We would hear all the time in our house growing up. So
Nice.
yeah.
Jimmy, and again, it all depends. We're supposed to go back to Tennessee the end of October, but I always say it just depends how everything is there. In my weird universe way, playing C, D, and F, is that we're going to go some kind of strange way. I just see Jessica picking us up, and we're going to Graceland for our private tour. I just see some kind of strange way. We go to Dollywood, and I just see that. But if you get a chance, watch the history of country music. It's very good. If you haven't seen it, Ken Burns directed it. It's on PBS. It's just there, but it's very good. It's a 4-part series. It's one of the best series that I've ever seen. And you don't even have to be a country fan to enjoy how everything came up out of that. It's very good.
This is true. I didn't see all of it, but I did see some bits of that, and I agree. It was very interesting. Very interesting.
Appreciate that intel. Thank you. We'll check it out.
But when it is safe, you know, I always wanted to have you, and now that I've met your wife, Nancy, and Bill and Sonja come down, because that's where we debuted at the Restroom Kit with Lipto hand sanitizer and Prevent Your Vodka. And those 2 shows that we're on is at 1.7 million views and still counting, because I count them once a day. Still.
Wow.
So that would be, you know, when we do this, and Jessica was at the university, Lipscomb University, that's the place where I would be recording. When I can go back, and I'm still in contact with them. I love the studio there, and it's a Christian university, but it's one of those things that they'll just give me the studio to utilize, because I only need 4 people.
Right. Okay.
So I would love, you know, when I can make that work, to have you guys come. And you guys will have at least 2 months notice on that, because I'll know. And, you know, it might not be till next year, but in general, it's still in my mind, it's going to happen.
So you're scheduled for October.
Yeah, we want to go. You know, another co-host of ours, Sherry Nelson out of British Columbia, she goes, Ryan, why don't we drive to Nashville? I'm like, what? You know, we gotta go see Jessica, and we need to go to Graceland to see Edie Han, because Edie Han, I don't know if you know, she's my Southern mom. So, and my other co-host Victoria is her daughter-in-law, and her son Link is the hair of the Elvis Presley brand. So she grew up on Hee Haw and all people. So she knew all of us, and she was on the show also. You knew she was on the show too, Jessica, right?
Edie?
Yeah, she was on Hee Haw too.
I didn't know she was on Hee Haw. Really?
Uh-huh.
No way.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Learned something
she did
new.
a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I didn't know.
So, you know, and Jimmy, it all came about because I met her in Marina Del Rey. A friend introduced me to her. I didn't want to go. And it was one of those things where she had a movie, because she's a 5-time cancer survivor. And it was about the loss of her brothers. Because she's the last of the family. And a month and a half ago, she had bladder surgery. And her father just passed away. So she's been through a lot, but one of the nicest, most friendliest women that I've ever met. And she's the reason that I went to Tennessee. And from that's how I ended up doing stuff. And then, so the first 1 million views I got was the show that I did with her. And then, so Jessica was on the shows that we did part 1, part 2 for her. And did you see her workshop, Jessica? Did you make it to that or no?
I didn't, no.
So I was glad that Jessica got a chance to talk to Edie, because I want everybody to talk to her, because how many times do you hear someone who survived cancer 5 times? That's not easy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right.
God bless her.
And the show that she did, she drove, because Birmingham is 2.5 hours away from Nashville. She drove to do the show, and we did 6 shows that day, and she wasn't supposed to make it. So, you know, I haven't seen that show since I did it, because I couldn't watch it because I knew she wasn't supposed to be there, but I was happy that she made it. Again, million views. It's at 1,025,619 views. And it just continues to go up, 400 to 600, sometimes 800 views a day. And I don't know what it is about it. I just don't know, but people still like it. So I will always be thankful for her coming to the Hollywood Film Festival. Her show won. I mean, her film won. It was tough for me to get it in. People, why, Brian? Why do we have to have this? I go, trust me, we have to have this film. It's about the family. It's about the brand. And then when it started winning, Victoria, who you've met now, Jessica, sang, a Better Tomorrow. So the proceeds went to St. Jude's Hospital. So all of that has come into fruition to what we're doing now. So I always want to go back and pay homage to that because that's where everything came out of.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
We got about 5 minutes. So Jimmy, give the website how people can reach out to the Restroom Kit and to you if they want to.
Well, yeah, actually, you can reach out to me. My email address is all in lowercase letters, Jimmy with a Y _ Adams, common spelling, at timeawayllc.com. All one word, Jimmy _ Adams at timeawayllc.com. Or you can just go over to our website, therestroomkit.com. If you make your purchase by Amazon, we're on Amazon as well. Just type in the Restroom Kit. And hopefully we'll be in the big box stores soon, and your local stores, your mom and pops soon, hopefully, prayerfully. With everybody's support, we can do that.
And you have hand sanitizer on it too, which is great.
No question about it. All you have to do is click the shop button at therestroomkit.com, click on the shop now button, and you can buy the blue restroom kit. Brian's holding up the pink restroom kit because ladies.
And I'm doing this.
And Jessica's in pink. And we have hand sanitizers. Please purchase now with that hand sanitizer because they go really fast. So if you're
last time I talked to Bill and Sonia, it was sold out.
Yeah, well, we currently have some now, but please make your purchases right away because we have the mist hand sanitizer and we have a gel. So please, by all means, go there now, therestroomkit.com.
And Jessica, your social media links.
Jessica Heim on Facebook, just first and last name, like it is on the screen. And same thing, lowercase Jessica Heim 7 I'm about to give my email address. Backwards, at Jessica Heim 7 on Instagram.
And it's important because even I have problems tagging her, so I have to put Jessica Heim 7 on it.
Wow.
Yes. Although we still need to chat about that. There's still some things we need to fix, but we'll get back to that later.
We will fix it. So with that, for Jimmy Adams, I'm a pleasure, Jimmy, finally to meet you face to face because it's been a while.
It has.
Jessica, Miss Whatever, who's one of my favorite out of Tennessee. I just adore her. Sebastian, this is Movie Reviews and More, Women on TV.tv. And again, specifically for women will really love this. This is the Restroom Kit. If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. And then we will see you next week.